Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, we have got to talk about something that is a much bigger deal than is being reported. This is going to change a whole lot of stuff for Second Amendment rights for a whole lot of people. So I need you to spread this out because this, once again, reaffirms that gun control disproportionately affects those that either cannot afford the same rights as everybody else if you put fees on them, but also imposes restrictions on people who choose different lifestyles. This, on its face, is unconstitutional, and it has just been struck down. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is a big one coming out of Tennessee. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, Established Titles, and then we're going to hit it, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. The Established Title Packs give you 1 square foot of dedicated land in an estate in Edelston, Scotland, along with a certified crest like you see right here. This is based on a historic Scottish custom which will allow landowners to become lords or ladies, and if you act now, you can be in the LOA little plot so we can have our own little fiefdom. This is a fun and novel way to preserve the woodlands of Scotland. They work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for Our Future to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your plane tickets and also on your credit cards. This makes a great last minute gift, and they have couple packs which you can get adjoining plots of land together. In order to give the ultimate conversation piece for that special someone, Established Titles is running a massive sale right now. Plus, if you use the code Langley, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/Langley to support the channel now. All right, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned in the intro, we have a breaking decision coming out of a Tennessee court. This is further along in the chain. This is a big deal, but enough setup. This is all about tenants being able to have their Second Amendment rights, and the people who actually own those buildings, the landlords, can no longer discriminate against people in the housing contracts against their 2A rights. This is a really big deal considering the large population of renters and tenants in this country. Why should they not have Second Amendment rights just because their landlord, the people with the money, decide they can't have them? Let's get it. All right. Tennessee court upholds Second Amendment rights for public housing tenants. That's incredibly important because this is something that we haven't seen yet. This came out today. In a landmark decision, a state appellate court on Thursday ruled public housing landlords cannot bar tenants from possessing guns in their residences. So keep in mind, essentially what that's saying is, if you are a public housing tenant, you can't have your Second Amendment rights because it's just not going to work out. It's our house after all, so you can't do something. It's your right. That's what the judge said. Check this out. This is a really big deal for a lot of people. The first of its kind ruling by Tennessee Court of Appeals means public housing authorities across the state can no longer prohibit tenants from having guns as a condition of their leases. The decision comes in case in which the Columbia Housing and Redevelopment Corporation in Maury County evicted tenant Kinsley Braden after discovering he had a gun inside his Creekside Acres apartment. You want to live here? You got to sign away the right for your Second Amendment within our housing. Drastically unconstitutional. Keep going. Quote, as a threshold matter, we recognize that Columbia Housing is a government entity acting as a landlord of the Creekside Acres residences. Appellate Judge Frank G. Clement Jr. wrote in Thursday's opinion, quote, for this reason, the actions of Columbia Housing and the policies of Creekside Acres must conform to the U.S. Constitution. Hot dog! Isn't it weird how we all have to go to that pesky Constitution and that Second Amendment right, which is a part of the Bill of Rights? You cannot make people not have their Second Amendment rights or their voting rights should you want to live in our housing. This is, it's so bad, but it's so good. Braden signed a lease with Columbia Housing in 2018 that included a provision barring tenants from possessing guns on the premises. More than 2 years later, the housing authority learned that Mr. Braden had been keeping a handgun in his residence, the opinion stated, and filed an eviction notice against him. So he had a firearm, a Second Amendment right, and he got evicted. That's discrimination. And this leasing, because you discriminated against it, you made the decision to evict someone on a woke principle, you now can't do this statewide. This has the potential to go national. Big deal. All right, check it out. Quote, the circuit court reasoned Mr. Braden voluntarily waived any rights he may have had to possess a firearm on the premises if Creekside Acres under simple contract principles, the opinion stated. But the appellate court said Columbia Housing cannot force tenants to give up their constitutional rights as a condition of housing. That seems pretty common sense. This is why the judge system is here. This is why the judicial system is here, to keep the Constitution in the forefront of policy. This is what's happening nationally. Got a little bit more for you because it's coming from Bruin. Quote, the unconstitutional conditions doctrine provides that a government entity may not deny a benefit to a person on a basis that infringes his constitutionally protected interest, the opinion stated. Thus, unless an exception applies, requiring Mr. Braden to surrender the central component of his Second Amendment rights for the benefit of public housing is an unconstitutional condition. It's almost like everything is being righted and everything's being jerked back to center. This is incredibly important because, again, gun control disproportionately affects those on the lower end of the economic spectrum across the board. You have different states like New York and New Jersey who want to make something $200 to even have your rights. They want to make you do payment for fees, for training, all these things that only the affluent have the option. So it's only a right for the affluent. That's not okay. This is a right for every American. That's what's happening because gun control does just that. But two more things for you. The appellate court cited two key U.S. Supreme Court decisions on the Second Amendment. A 2008 decision in which the court struck down a Washington, D.C. ban on handguns and ruled the right to bear arms is an individual right guaranteed to all citizens, and a June 2022 decision that struck down as unconstitutional a New York law requiring a license to carry concealed weapons in public places as paving the way for Thursday's landmark ruling. You had Heller, the masterful decision, and then you had Bruin. Those two together are pretty much as strong as you're going to get. If we get a third one, I don't know what's going to happen. But it's incredibly important to understand that this is moving in the right way for everyone. This is a right for everyone. Black, purple, pink, green, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is this is your right. Let's keep going. Last thing, then I'm going to send you on your Friday. Attorneys for Columbia Housing could seek a review by the Tennessee Supreme Court of Thursday's groundbreaking decision. But there is no automatic right of appeal in the case. If no such appeal is sought, or the state's high court refuses to accept one, Thursday's decision will become the law of the land in Tennessee. This is more likely than not going to become the law of the land in Tennessee. I'm not a fortune teller, but I can tell you that if the court is already going, it might work, it might not work, you're looking at the final stages or the final stage of this becoming law in Tennessee. Not long until that's cited in different states and different jurisdictions. We are going to pass this bad boy along to the next generation. The Second Amendment is here to stay, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.